Hi you guys, it is Saturday and it is almost 1. Sorry it took me so long to get this video up. You guys are probably raring to go Saturday morning to watch a video of me with math. But here it is. It's going to be on fractions and changing them to decimals. And then taking decimals and changing them back to fractions. Yeah. So from one to the other, and then the other back to the beginning. So let's start. So we're going to start with some fractions like 5/8 and 5/9 and 3/11 and 4/25. Okay, we have 4 fractions up here. And I want you to convert them all to decimals. Yeah. And if they're converted to decimals, in order to do it, you just look at what operation is happening between the two numbers. Now I'm highlighting the fraction bar because that's the operation. And remember, it's all your favorite. It is division. And also what I want to make note of is that, hold on a momento. Alright, I am back. So, division. We need to do some division. And all these fractions are going to give us decimals that are either known as terminating, meaning they terminate, or repeating. They keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. So let's look back at the fractions we have. Let's start with which one looks like to be your favorite. I don't know. This one's popping out at me. So let's start there. 4/25. And we need to take this fraction, convert it to a decimal, and then we're going to figure out if we think it's terminating or repeating. So we have a fraction, so it should be less than 1, meaning which number is going to go on the inside? The 4. Because if it's less than 1, this number on the outside does not go into 4. So we actually have to attach a decimal, annex a 0, and keep going. So 25 goes into 40. How many times? Once. And did it go in perfectly? No, it did not. So 40 minus 25 is, if you subtract correctly, 15, because if you take and borrow, or you know it off the top of your head. Okay, we need the next digit. So to get the next digit, I'm going to annex a 0. 25 goes into 150. Yes, it does. How many times? Well, both those numbers to me pop out as money. Money, money, money. 25 cents and 150 cents. Or $1.50. How many quarters are in $1.50? 6. Perfectly. So if we see the fraction 4/25 walking around, we could also just call out to them, hey, 0.16! Because that means the same thing. So what do you think? Terminating or repeating? That one is terminating because it stopped and it didn't keep repeating. So it terminated. So we got 4/25. Alright, let's look back. We got that one done. Which one do you want to go to next? Let's try and find one that we think is repeating. I don't know. Should we go right next door? Check out 3/11. Alright, let's try it. 3/11. Again, a fraction. So I'm going to put the 3 on the inside, 11 on the outside. 11 doesn't go into 3. I attach my decimal, annex the 0. 11 goes into 30. Let's see. 3 times? Too much. So 2. 22. I am left with, I can do that in my head. 30 minus 22 would be 8. Drop down the 0 once I've annexed it. 11 goes into 80. I like 11s. 7 times. 77. I am left with 3. Okay, it's keeping going. Annex another 0. Bring it down to the party. And look at this. I got 30 here, which is what I had to start with, meaning I'm going to end up getting 80 again. And then what do you think I'll get after that? 30. And then what will I get after that? 80. So I'm just going to keep getting 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7. And if you don't believe me, keep dividing. Meaning that this decimal is going to be 0.27 with a line over the 27. To say that part just keeps going and keeps repeating. Meaning it's a repeating decimal. It does not terminate. So we did find one that repeats. And you might be like, well, Miss Everly, you're the math teacher. You would know. Well, yeah, but I forgot. All right, so we got those two. So we're left with two more to do. 5/8 and 5/9. How about we do them at the same time? One of them must be terminating. One of them must be repeating. Which one is which? Do you have a guess? Okay, my little guy Ari is watching here. Okay, here we go at the same time. 8 doesn't go into 5, but it goes into 50. How many times? Let's see, 7? Nope, 6. And I am left with 2. Let's see what we get over here. 9 doesn't go into 5, but it goes into 50. Does it go in 6 times? No, that's too much because that's 54. So 5 times. So they're different. I'm left with 5. So they both didn't go in perfect. So we need to annex the 0 and keep going. As you can see, I'm hopping back and forth. Hopefully that doesn't make you too nauseous. So 8 goes into 20. Twice. Not perfectly, so I'm excited there because it keeps going. Alright, I'm going to see what I get on the other one. I'm hopping to the other one. Annex to 0. Bring it down. And I notice I got a 50, which is what I had here. Meaning that every time I'm just going to keep getting 50s, meaning what number is going to keep coming up here? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So this one I already know. It's 0.5 with a line over it. The 5 repeats. This one is repeating. Okay, let's finish the other one. You're like, that one wasn't finished? Nope. So I go back to it, annex the 0, and I can see that 8 goes into 40 perfectly 5 times. Oh, that's so nice. So this one is 0.625, and it stopped. It terminates. That was a terminating decimal. So 5/8 terminates. 5/9 repeats. Okay, I told you at the beginning of the video that we were going to be going from fractions to decimals, which is what we just did. And then we're going from decimals to fractions. So we need to try taking a decimal. Like, let's go 2.48. And then you cry out to me, Everly, that's not a fraction though. And then I say, yeah, I know, that's what's awesome. We're going to take it and convert it to a fraction. Okay. All right, let's try. So here's what we have. We have 2. And we have a part of something because it's a decimal of something. It's a part of a whole. So I am going to have a fractional amount. How much is this fraction? Well, it's 48. And then this is always a multiple of 10 down here. It's just a matter of, is it 10? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 100,000? Is it a million? So this is when you got to know your decimal places. So the first place after the decimal is the tenths. Second place is the hundredths. Meaning that this is going to be 48 hundredths. And there we have it. We just wrote it as a mixed number. And if you're even more amazing, you could tell that this 48 over 100, this part could be reduced because they're both even. So let's say we divide them both by 2 because we're amazing and we want to make sure that we simplify. So it's still going to be 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24. 100 cut in half, that'd be 50. Then you're like, wait, Miss Everly, it could be divided again. Yep, it could. So if I divide those both by 2, I'll have a 12 there, and I'll have a 25, right? Are those both even? Oh man, it stopped. So 2.48 is the same thing as 2 and 12/25. Alright, so we went from fractions to decimals, and we went from decimals back to fractions. And now Ari is taking my video, so I gotta go. See ya Monday. Bye, people. Thanks for watching.